Hello, everybody, and welcome here to our fourth race of the season at Watkins Glen International Raceway as we're getting set to wrap up our race weekend for the General Tire Delivers 100 for the 2024 edition of the PCS Ray Presents the ARCA Menards Series. As we're finishing up our race weekend from the Glen, of course, as I mentioned in our qualifying race yesterday, we were supposed to go to Kentucky, but because my NR decided to crash on me, we decided to relocate here to Watkins Glen. Alexander Underwood's on the pole. He is 11th in the point standings. Paul Diamond is alongside, dropped a spot to 10th in the point standings. Alex Winters, 16th in the points in row number 2, and Addison Peterson dropped 5 spots down to 9th in the standings. There's a look at the rest of your starting grid as we're going to go ahead and get these cars rolling off. Getting ready for 9 laps of racing, same distance as our qualifier. So hopefully these drivers learned a lot from what we saw here this weekend. And I can tell you, a lot of drivers I'm kind of concerned about that are near that critical 35th position, like Wyatt Sanders, who's been there, needs a good run, or he could find himself heading into next week at Talladega, possibly in go or go home. And of course, he's starting in the 6th position. So let's see if he can get away from 35th in the standings. Green flags in the air. The General Tire Delivers 100 is underway. Right now, the field of 42, the main event drivers going through the S's. Show you the rest of the points coming into this race. Jack Smith, by the way, took the points lead after last week's race at Darlington. Lucy Granger second in points. Morgan Le Fay, Skylar Davidson, Kurt Campbell the top 5. Kyler Anderson, Angie Burton, Suni Sue, Addison Peterson, and Paul Diamond, your top 10. Kyler Anderson lost the points lead after his poor finish yesterday in the E-Series race, so he's going to have his work cut out for him in that series because that series is going to be off. Alexander Underwood's going to lead the first lap in the number 70 machine. And we'll have the West Series from Sonoma. Tyler Anderson still the race leader. Pull up our... Somebody just came off pit road. That's Liliana Beta, who ended up racing her way into this field via the Go Homer. See what's going on. Oh, Jack Smith, the points leader, is back here at the rear of the field, along with Vanko Seaman, who ran in the ARCA East Series race yesterday, and Kyler Anderson. 2 races in a row here at the Glen, running poorly at the rear of the field. Lana Aurora's back here. Carolina Bradley, that's not doing Carolina Bradley any favors of trying to remain the top 35 in points. Josh Rogers, with his good run last week, jumped himself into the top 35. He may be falling out of the top 35 this week. Skylar Davidson, I'm seeing a number of drivers running well in points back here. Scott Forrest, this is not what Scott Forrest needed. 27th in points. He's in danger of falling outside the top 35 if he's not careful. Same with this gal, Emma Kaiser. Morgan Le Fay, third in points, not running well. Where's the gal that came in race second in points? Lucy Granger, she's up to 11th. As they have just put Liliana Beta a lap down, so not sure what was wrong with Liliana Beta. That is a tough break for her. A couple of drivers who came into the race running well in points, they're going to take some hits heading into Dega next week. And the question is for Kaiser, where Wyatt Sanders running in 8th, came into the race at critical 35th position in the points. That's a driver who needs to stay in the top 35 in the point standings. Remember, Drake Robertson failed to qualify yesterday in the Go or Go Home, or should I say in the qualifying race for the Go or Go Homers, which meant for the first time this season, both the Smith Brother Racing entries failed to qualify for this race. First time this season. Alex Winters having a very good run. Skylar Taylor running in 7th. That's a driver who definitely needs to keep building her momentum, just getting further and further away from 35th in the standings. And, of course, Hadley Martindale, who was out of the top 35 because she was not entered in last week's race. Or was not entered in this race. It was actually Samantha Wilson. And of course, Samantha Wilson failed to qualify for this race. Hadley Martindale will be back in the car next week at Talladega. First DNQ for Drake Robertson. Esther Roberts' streak of making races came to an end. Ariel Moore, that was her second race in a row she has failed to qualify. And Jack Smith, the points leader's in trouble. He's going to come to pit road with a problem. Does he have any right side damage, or is there an issue with the car? Oh boy, 1 week of taking the points lead, he's already in trouble. Somebody else came to pit road. That's Wyatt Sanders. Oh, this is not what Wyatt Sanders needed, because he came in this race 35th in the point standings. The good news for him, the driver who was 36th in the points failed to qualify. That would be Logan Burton, ironically, last week's winner at Darlington, who missed it by missed it by 3 points of making it into 35th in the standings. This is not the run he was hoping for. The other issue for Wyatt Sanders, the guy is Alex Vitale, who raced his way into today's race via the go or go home qualifying race we had yesterday. And where's the 16 running? In 16th. And the gap between him, not sure if we'll have to see where this is going to situate the 16, because he's definitely going to bypass drivers ahead of him in the points who've had troubles, and also, excuse me, drivers who have been put, or drivers who have been who failed to qualify rather. Jack Smith is definitely going to lose the points lead after this race. 03 is now down to 42nd. Liliana Bates had just passed Wyatt Sanders, and this is not what Wyatt Sanders needed. And like I said, the big threat Wyatt Sanders has got to be careful is Josh McDowell and Alex Vitale, because both of them made the show. And the big thing for McDowell and Vitale is that the drivers ahead of them in points who failed to qualify, they could have a chance to capitalize. The other driver that Wyatt Sanders needs to have happen is drivers ahead of him to have troubles. Trinity Lee also came into this race 50th in points, so no doubt Trinity Lee's going to bypass a number of drivers who failed to qualify for this race. That's going to be good for Trinity Lee. After the DNF, she had a Coca-Cola's run the last lap of the race, by the way. I don't want to jinx myself of forgetting. Vanko Seaman's not going to have a good points day, so that's not good for Vanko. At least he's so far up through the points table, 14th to be exact. That's another driver who came in running well in points. But Alexander Underwood come into turn number 6 for the final time, and then turn number 7. We'll see the checker flag, and Alexander Underwood with his first win of the season. Alexander Underwood wins the General Tire Delivers 100 here at the Glen. That is a well done for him. And the goodness for Alex Underwood, a lot of drivers ahead of him in points who've had poor finishes. This is going to put him in the top 10 in the points leaving today. Standings have not been official. Paul Diamond's going to get second. Great run for Paul Diamond. Came as race 10th in points, so that's a definitely good result. Alex Winters continuing her momentum in third. How about Curtis Glover, go or go homer, 4th place? So team owner Cody Smart has got to be thrilled about this. Addison Peterson will get 5th. She will stay in the top 10 of the points standings. Josh McDowell is going to get 6th. Good run for him. That was the last thing that the 03 needed to see. Trix Christensen 7th, Skylar Taylor 8th, Lucy Granger looks like she's going to take the points lead from Jack Smith after today's race. She comes home in 9th, and Lucia Bianchi, salvage after a poor result, will come home in the 10th position. Standings are now official. Top 15 was completed by Kurt Campbell, Bill Sandwich, Phelan Bradley, Caitlin Bridges, and Brooke Packett. Alex Vitale got 16th. We're going to see where this is going to situate him. Sebastian Palmer, good run in 17th, with Andy Burton, Lucas Albon, and Rachel Sutton, your top 20. 21st is not going to cut it for Trinity Lee as far as trying to make it into the top 35, but she will be ahead of drivers that failed to qualify, though. Look on down through the rest of the finishing results. A couple of drivers I'm kind of worried about falling outside the top 35, like Scott Forrest, who was 27th in points. That's 2 races in a row for him. He had poor finishes. Chad Bowman 25th. Ooh. I think this could be bad news for Chad Bowman. He might fall out of the top 35 after a poor race here today. Emma Kaiser, same for her. Josh Rogers, 34th. 1 week after getting in the top 35, he could be out. Oh boy. Kyler Anderson came his race running well in points, going to take a hit. Jack Smith, the points leader, absolutely going to take a hit in the standings. Came him in 40th. And then tough break for Liliana Bates making her first start of the season with a 41st place finish. And Wyatt Sanders could be out of the top 35 after his poor finish here today. But don't go anywhere. On the other side of the break will be your point standings coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere, folks. Welcome back, as I'm going to show you the results here just to make sure score 4 or my recording system records it. There it is one more time for your official finish results. And here's the points. As I predicted, Lucy Granger would take the points lead. Alex Underwood with his win will go to second. Paul Diamond, Kurt Campbell, Morgan Le Fay drops to fifth. Addison Peterson in sixth. Jack Smith dropped all the way to seventh. Angie Burton, Alex Winters cracks the top 10. So does Skylar, and Skylar Davison fell down. Wyatt Sanders is still in the top 35. Whew. That was close. And it's only 15 points between him and Josh McDowell and Alex Sanvitali as you look at the rest of the drivers who have made a start this season. But that is going to do it from Watkins Glen International Raceway. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCS Race Crew today. We showed your full finish results. You're looking on your screen, your points heading into next week's race at Dega. We'll see you then. Until then, you've been watching another broadcast of PCS Race TV since the best in our racing since 2017. I'm Daniel Voiles. So long, everybody.